Hey everyone, welcome to our English podcast, where we help you improve your English in a relaxed, natural way. Today we've got something special lined up for you. If you've ever felt like life's just moving too fast, or if you've been wondering what slow living even means, you're in the right place. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What does slow living have to do with learning English? Well, the truth is, living more slowly can help you focus, feel less stressed, and become more present. And that can actually help with language learning too. Today, I'm joined by Tom, who's going to share how slowing down has helped him improve his life and his English as well.
Thanks for having me here. I'm really excited to be here.
Before we dive into our conversation about slow living, let's talk about something many of us experience: trying to learn a language in a fast paced world. It's easy to get overwhelmed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With all the information out there, it's hard to know where to start and how to focus.
So, Tom, slow living isn't just about taking things slow, it's about being mindful of how we approach life. And of course, how we learn. Can you share a bit about your journey with slow living and how it's helped you improve your English?
Sure, I used to try to learn everything at once: flashcards, grammar rules, watching videos, and listening to podcasts. But I found that the more I tried to rush, the less I really learned. When I slowed down, I was able to focus more on the quality of my practice, not just the quantity.
That's such a great point. I think a lot of learners make the mistake of thinking they need to do everything at once. But slow living teaches us to focus on one thing at a time. And that can really help us improve our language skills. What kind of habits did you start forming to make your learning process slower and more effective?
Well, one of the first things I did was set aside specific times each day to practice, but only for a short amount of time. Didn't force myself to study for hours. Instead, I spent just 20 to 30 minutes each day, but I really focused during that time. No distractions.
I love that. It's all about quality over quantity. And how did you incorporate slow living practices into your English learning routine?
One thing I did was listen to English podcasts or audiobooks while I was doing other calming activities, like going for a walk or drinking tea. I wasn't focusing on grammar or vocabulary. I was just absorbing the language in a relaxed way. I found that doing this helped me get more comfortable with the flow of English.
That's such a nice, low pressure way to learn. A lot of learners think they need to actively study all the time, but sometimes just letting the language wash over you in a relaxed environment can help you pick things up naturally. Now, let's talk about practical steps. For anyone listening who feels a bit overwhelmed by their English learning journey, what advice would you give to help them take things slow?
One of the easiest ways to start slowing down your learning is to set small, realistic goals. Instead of aiming to learn 50 new words in a week, maybe start with 10 words and focus on using them in sentences. This way, you're practicing in a more meaningful way.
Great advice. Small goals make it easier to stay motivated without feeling overwhelmed. And speaking of motivation, how did slowing down help you stay consistent with your learning?
By focusing on small steps, I stopped pressuring myself to do it all. I was more focused on enjoying the process rather than just reaching a destination. I also gave myself permission to take breaks and rest, which helped me avoid burnout.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Tom. I think it's a great reminder for all of us that learning doesn't have to be a race. Slowing down and being more mindful in our language practice can lead to better results and less stress.
Exactly. It's not about how fast you go, but about making steady progress and enjoying the journey.
So, for all our listeners out there, if you're feeling overwhelmed by learning English, try slowing down a bit. Set small goals, make time for rest, and enjoy the little moments of learning. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about growing and improving one step at a time. Thanks for tuning with us. We'll be back soon with more tips, strategies, and relaxed ways to improve your English. Until next time, take a breath, slow down, and keep practicing.